Good morning. This is the Great Basin Prescribed Fire and Smoke Transport Briefing for Wednesday, December 7th. Over the past 7 days, quite a widespread swath of precipitation, heaviest in central and northern areas, light amounts but with high humidity throughout the period across much of the south as well. You can see the percent of normal precipitation on the right-hand side. You can also see the 100-hour fuels have had quite a response to this cool, moist weather. Just about the entire area in the green, meaning that 100-hour fuels are above 15% in these areas, in some cases above 20%. Just a few little dry pockets, but still nowhere do we see 100-hour fuels in the single digits. So basically, fuels have moistened up quite a bit, really hard at this point to get a large-scale burn going in either fine fuels or even some of the heavier fuels. Looks like pile burning may be the best offing for now, which is typical this time of year during our darkest period. Snowfall past 72 hours on the left-hand side. You see some moderate amounts here in the mountains of central Idaho, western Wyoming, the Wasatch, and the Sierra Front. A lot of 6 to 12-inch amounts, locally higher, and even some 3 to 6-inch amounts in these blue shades and some of the higher and even valley areas of central and northern areas. The snow cover map on the right, basically north of the I-80 corridor, even in the valleys, pockets of snow cover. So again, really tough to get a large-scale burn going there. Snow-free in the southern third, except for the highest elevations. Our snowpack doing really well, anywhere from 70 to 150% above normal. We see the dark blues and basically above normal everywhere, well above normal for this time of year. A very robust snowpack for this early season. And the weather pattern continues to dictate cool conditions under this trough of low pressure and upper low over south central Nevada. Some moisture pushing up into southern Utah, some valley rains and mountain snows. Up here in the Gulf of Alaska, this is the next big winter storm system. It's going to drop down later on this week, and especially into the weekend, giving us a large-scale winter storm for the entire area. So we'll see that. For today, on the left, here is that those clouds and precipitation here in the green. Light precipitation, maybe locally moderate, maybe 3 to 6 inches of snow in the highest terrain, some valley sprinkles, but otherwise cool conditions. The next storm system here outlined everybody on the 7 days in the green dormant conditions. Looking at the relative humidities on the right-hand side, humidities well above 30 or 50% in just about all areas. On the left-hand side, transport winds fairly light. Mixing heights pretty good in the southern third of the geographic area, but longer inversions as you normally expect this time of year. We see the darker shades of blue and purple. No big changes on the 7-day on Thursday. You can see, though, we do have drier air by this tannish shade moving in. Some more sunshine, some decent mixing, so that could be good for pile burning. Their next storm system here moving onshore across the west coast. That's where winds will be increasing. We'll see some gusts coming out of the south at 15 to 25 mile per hour transport winds, and basically good transport winds just about all areas. Humidity still on the high side except for the far south. Mixing heights vertically look pretty good. And then looking at Friday, that one storm system moves out. Next storm system, they come in one after the other. This one is windier and stronger with precipitation. You can see the humidity is high once again. You can see those winds picking up across western areas of the Great Basin. Mixing heights again good as you would expect in a progressive storm pattern. 3-day precipitation, light to moderate amounts. The darkest greens are 1/4 to 1/2 inch, otherwise just a few hundredths of an inch. Heaviest amounts in the mountains of central Idaho. Very heavy amounts across the Pacific Northwest and Northern California. And those heavy amounts will be moving our way for Saturday into Idaho and into northern Nevada, parts of Utah. And then by Sunday, that storm system deepens. You see this dark green area across central Nevada, moving into Utah and Idaho. Continued moderate to locally heavy precipitation, and that continues on Monday. It's the upper low centered right over central or western Utah, continuing to push up lots of moisture through the area. And that moisture continues to wrap around into at least the western or the eastern half of the Great Basin, eastern 2/3 on Tuesday, even though the upper level storm system itself is up into Nebraska. So precipitation, this is day 4 and 5. Saturday morning through Monday morning, you see widespread amounts, and the blues indicate a 1/2 inch to 1 inch of precipitation, or basically 6 to 12 inches of snow in the higher terrain, and then lingering precipitation across the eastern half of the Great Basin Monday morning through Wednesday morning. The 8 to 14 day outlook shows continued cooler than normal conditions, continued wetter than normal conditions. This concludes our briefing. Have a great day.